Ask and you shall receive. As with most games with an online ranking system, if we are vocal long enough about a single character being the best and strongest in the game, potentially and eventually they will get touched. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. I know I'm a little bit late to the party today. I had some stuff to take care of early this morning, but developer letter number 2 for mid-season 1 has finally been announced, and there is a lot of stuff in this upcoming update that I'm really excited for. Most notably some of the character adjustments and changes. I can't wait to get into it, and once we're done going over developer letter number 2, we'll also go over Gotenks as well, whose information was also released this morning. So without further ado, fellas, we're not even gonna make this video too extremely long. Let's hop right in. So as with last time with developer letter number 1, let's start off by just reading through all of this, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts at the end. So they're gonna start off by saying, thank you very much for your continued support of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. We all hope you're enjoying season 1 so far. In this developer letter, we'd like to share some of the upcoming improvements and plans we're preparing based on your feedback. Again, shout out to the Squadra team for continuing to listen to community feedback, whether that be content creators, people on Twitter, people in the Squadra discords, etc. I think that that's a really great thing, and they're trying to kind of, I guess, sift through some of the crazy stuff that you're obviously gonna see from the community, some of the changes that make no sense, and try to come to a consensus on some things that we relatively all agree on, right? Like one of these changes that we're gonna get to down here under hero balance adjustments, I'm pretty sure we all agree that this character needed to be changed. He was the top of S tier on every single tier list that I saw. So moving forward, upcoming adjustments for heroes and emotes, and they're going to start off with trial heroes. While it cannot be implemented immediately, we plan to expand the number of available trial heroes to 6. I think as the roster gets bigger, this is definitely something that's going to have to happen. It doesn't even really, I don't even think this has to necessarily happen in season 1, but as we get into like season 2, 3, and so on and so forth, this is going to be a really necessary change in my opinion. Heroes from tier 1 will also be added to the trial lineup for all to enjoy during the week. This is also something that we've been asking for as well. We hope this allows you to experience and enjoy a wider variety of heroes in battle. This is again another thing that we literally asked for in one of our recent Squadra videos, so shout out to the team for listening to the community, man. I cannot overstate that enough. So now we're going to be moving on to hero balance adjustments. I know this is what you guys have all been waiting for, right? Originally, we planned to make balance changes on a seasonal basis. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea because the seasons are so long. They're 2 to 3 months long, so doing one mid-season, definitely they could kind of do like a season 1.5 thing, kind of like what Marvel Rivals does, where they do the beginning of the season, then they do the midway point, then on to the next season. I think that's something that Squadra could potentially implement, right? However, in response to your requests, as well as observing the meta, we will be increasing the frequency of balance adjustments within this season. I think the adjustment that they did for Frieza and Piccolo as well. Piccolo is already pretty strong. I don't know if he necessarily needed the buffs, but giving a buff to Frieza was definitely necessary, and he's a lot more fun now. While these mid-season adjustments will be smaller in scale than those made at the season launch, our goal is to ensure that all heroes can shine on the battlefield. Detailed numbers will be shared later, but here's a summary of what's currently planned. So here we go. 2 characters that definitely needed some adjustments, and I'm so glad that I know they had to have seen so many tier lists going around that they were like, all right, we got to chop this dude off at the knees right now. Super Saiyan Goku, the first balance adjustment for a season. I'm just going to go ahead and call this season 1.5 now, right? Can I do that? Increased cooldown from Meteor Hammer. Thank God. Hopefully they decreased the damage as well. Extended duration for Kaioken. I think Kaioken's duration was, what was it, 2 seconds, maybe 3? I'm not even too sure. I think I don't know. You guys have to tell me the exact numbers down below in the comments, or maybe after the video I'll go ahead and get on Squadra and see myself in the training room. But I think the duration for Kaioken right now is like 2 seconds if I'm not mistaken. Reduce the buff values for Kaioken's attack power and movement speed. If you're going to extend the duration for Kaioken, that definitely needed to happen, because Meteor Hammer and ×4 Kamehameha after Kaioken did insane damage. Boy, I cannot overstate how much damage those 2 skills do after you activate Kaioken. I think the combo that you do for Kamehameha is you do Kamehameha and then you press Kaioken, and it gets even bigger. But with Meteor Hammer, you do it beforehand, and then there's, I don't even have to mention Spirit Bomb. So shorten the additional input duration for Meteor Hammer and Kamehameha. Overall adjustments focused on rebalancing Meteor Hammer, which had become stronger than intended, while maintaining Goku's general power level. So they are recognizing that Meteor Hammer is a little bit stronger than intended, especially with Kaioken stacked on top of that. Bro, I don't even have to say this. Like, you guys have fought against Super Saiyan Goku before, especially good ones. The higher up you get in those ranks, this character is a nightmare early game, mid game, and especially late game when he has that maxed out Kamehameha. So I'm glad that they're finally addressing this, and relatively early in the game's lifespan too. Season 1.5, I feel like he definitely could have been addressed on the launch of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but doing it now, you know, as the season or as the meta develops a little bit more, also not a bad thing. So I'm really excited for this change. Maybe those Golden Cell Junior games and those Superstar games won't be as stressful anymore. So the next hero balance adjustment is going to be for Majin Buu. Increase base HP. Actually, I wish that this was something they gave to Frieza as well. That's really the only other change I want for Frieza. Give him like a tiny bit more HP. I know he's super fast, especially with Imperial Decree. I know he can like get out of there faster than every other character in the game, right? But if he just had a little bit more HP, oh my god, he would easily be top of A, maybe even S tier. Increased damage dealt by Strangle Gum. Okay, does he need that? Those of you guys that played Majin Buu, do you think he needed extra damage on Strangle Gum? Using this in tandem with your like lane buddies or whatever, and this increasing your hitbox, especially if it's maxed out, I don't know. I mean, I'm all for Majin Buu buffs, but I don't know if Strangle Gum needed a damage buff. Increased range of healing rate. He definitely needed that. I'm glad he's getting this, so that's good. Now lastly, they're gonna finish this section off by saying Majin Buu has been having trouble in general, so he's received an overall buff. So I'm assuming what this is saying is that he's receiving an overall buff in more than just his increased base HP, right? I'm guessing he's gonna get a buff in defense, attack, everything else. So this is gonna be alongside his increased damage dealt to Strangle Gum, increased range of healing ray. He's just, it seems like he's almost getting a total rework, right? Not a rework of his skills per se, but just his overall stats in general, which I feel like is really good. I can't wait to try the new Majin Buu in season 1.5 of Gekishin Squadra. I can't wait to see how these changes are gonna affect Super Saiyan Goku. I know he's still gonna be a really strong character, especially since they're extending the duration of Kaioken. So I definitely don't think he's just gonna drop all the way off the tier list, right? I don't think this is gonna make him a B tier character, but again, we have to wait a little while to see exactly what the numbers are gonna look like as they release them in due time. So next is going to be new emotes. To make customizing your favorite heroes even easier, starting with the release of Super Saiyan Gotenks, each hero will be accompanied by their corresponding emotes on the same day. In addition, newly added rare and epic emotes will also be featured within the capsules in upcoming updates. As mentioned in the recently released Squadra Talk Season 1, we initially planned weekly updates, including shop refreshes. However, please note that the update schedule will be adjusted in accordance with the new hero and emotes release structure. Bug fixes and stability updates. We sincerely apologize for the errors that occurred during matchmaking and battles. After the recent maintenance, we have confirmed that the majority of these issues have been resolved. Error code 0 has been slayed. If you continue to experience any problems, please contact us via official social media, Discord, or support channels to provide us with more details. We deeply apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Squadra team, we love you, man. The Sparking Zero team could learn so much from just the very first season of Squadra. Bro, it's like night and day with these two games. In closing, we're still in the middle of season 1, but we already have many more adjustments and updates planned for the future. They already set up here that we're gonna have smaller but more frequent updates as the game's lifespan goes on. We'll share these details in advance as soon as they're confirmed, so please stay tuned for further updates. As always, thank you for your passion and continued support of Squadra. If you have any thoughts or feedback, please don't hesitate to share them with us. Your voices help us make the game even better. I love this team so much. Oh my god, man. It literally took them, we are not even halfway through season 1. We still have, after Gotenks, we still have a whole nother character that's gonna get released in a couple of weeks with God of Destruction Topo. So we're not even halfway through season 1 yet, and they have literally listened to I feel like they've listened to every single thing that not only I have addressed concerns for in my videos, but literally things that I haven't even asked for that I've seen other people ask for around the community as well. So I feel like they're really taking into account everything that we're saying about the game, and they're absolutely doing their best, man. So again, shout out to the Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra team. Y'all are doing amazing. Keep up the great work, and I can't wait to try out Super Saiyan Gotenks. Now, speaking of Gotenks, his information was just released this morning, and I have screenshots for everything that I want to go over here. So first of all, I want to start out by saying, ladies and gentlemen, we officially have our very first transforming technical character coming to Gekishin Squadra with Super Saiyan Gotenks. I love Super Saiyan 3 Goku as much as the next person, but I'm about to put some disgusting hours into Super Saiyan Gotenks. Here's Gotenks in his base form, and here's him after transforming. So the first thing that we're going to go over today is his concept as usual. Gotenks, as we all know, is a technical character. His concept is going to read: a mischievous hero who uses ghosts to obstruct foes. Finish the fight with Super Ghost Kamikaze attack and show them what you're really made of. So first, of course, is going to be his passive skill, Exaltation. Applies movement speed up to self and nearby ally heroes when KOing or assisting against an enemy hero KO. His rush attack is going to be a regular ranged rush attack with Ki Blast. Fire and Energy Blast deals more damage to heroes with a debuff. His transformation, of course, is going to be Super Saiyan, transform at level Saiyan with an increase in base HP and all attack up. Now getting into his skills, this is where stuff gets really interesting for this character. Skill number 1 is going to be Hyper Ultra Super Combo. Warp to an enemy's location and perform a combo attack. Apply strike defense up to self during the combo. Also attacks enemies nearby, finishing by staggering them and warping back to where the skill was activated. The number of combo hits increases with skill level. So what this kind of reminds me of is Kid Gohan's charge kick attack, which obviously Gotenks doesn't have to charge his, and I'm not sure if Gohan is able to stun multiple people with his kick at one time. You guys have to let me know that down below in the comments. Whenever I use it, I'm not just, you know, charge kicking into like 2 or 3 enemies at a time. I'm usually singling somebody out. So if Gohan is able to stagger multiple enemies at once, let me know. But obviously Gotenks doesn't have to charge this, and I really like these technical characters not only having a lot of speed, but having multiple ways to stagger enemies, to blind them, to reduce their FOV, etc. So I really enjoy the playstyle of technical characters, which is why I'm probably going to gravitate towards Gotenks a lot more than even Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Next is going to be Galactic Donuts, another way to kind of manipulate the enemy's movement. Throw a donut-shaped ring at a set position that gathers enemies together. And as you guys can see, this has a massive radius right here. So being able to pull enemies all the way to the center right here, and obviously they're going to be able to vanish out of this, right? But I feel like this moves them a lot more than even a cooler Supernova. Actually, that has a pretty strong pull, so I don't know about that per se, but more than Super Saiyan Vegeta's Photon Bomber. I just really enjoy these moves that can manipulate the opponent's movement all in itself and kind of just restrict them to the center of wherever the attack is, the center of the radius of the attack, right? Next is skill 3 Super Ghost, and this has a couple of different properties to it. So even after Gotenks releases, it's probably going to take me a little while to get used to how to properly implement this skill. So this is going to read: summon a ghost to a set target. If enemy or dragon shell pursues target and explodes on hit, applies movement speed down, explodes and disappears if hit by an enemy attack or upon hitting a wall. And if you do Super Ghost and it applies movement speed down to enemies, your rush attack, I'm pretty sure, which was it his rush attack or his first skill? I think it is his rush attack. Yeah, it does deals more damage to enemies with a debuff. So obviously you're going to be using Super Ghost in tandem with your rush attack to do more damage to enemies that are debuffed by Super Ghost. But that's not the only property to this move. So if summoned to self or an ally hero, follows target and will pursue enemy heroes who draw near. As you guys can see right here, the ghosts are on Super Saiyan Vegeta, just lined up in single file. So if Vegeta were to run past Super Saiyan Goku right here, who is the enemy hero, all the ghosts would just attack Super Saiyan Goku. So you can apply them to yourself, you can apply them to an ally or enemy hero, or you can target a structure like the Dragon Shell or a boss or something like that. And here's a screenshot of them following Vegeta, and like I said, once they get close enough to Super Saiyan Goku right here, they're all just gonna attack him. So the last property of this move is going to be if there's no target. They're going to wait at a set position and will pursue enemy heroes who draw near, explode and disappear if hit by an enemy attack or upon hitting a wall. So enemies can obviously, just like what Super Buu did in the hyperbolic time chamber, right? Enemies are able to attack these and make them explode, which I honestly think is a really cool effect, and it's canon as well, right? So next is going to be his super attack, Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. And if you guys saw the trailer for this, he literally just made it rain like 50 ghosts down on this enemy NPC right here. So send a ghost rushing toward a set position. The ghost pursues enemy heroes and applies no skill/attacks to the enemy it hits with its last strike. So if I'm understanding this description right here correctly, to get the debuff application of no skills/no attacks to the enemy, they have to be hit by the very last ghost or whatever is perceived to be the end of the attack, right? I guess we'll see when this character finally does come out. But anyways, fellas, that is gonna do it for developer letter number 2 for mid-season of season 1 in Gekishin Squadra, as well as an initial Super Saiyan Gotenks breakdown. I hope you all are just as excited as I am for the eventual release of Super Saiyan Gotenks in this game. I am on the edge of my seat waiting for this character, man. Out of everybody that we saw in Squadra talk for season 1, this is the character that I was waiting on the most, man. I know we all love Super Saiyan 3 Goku, don't get me wrong, but Gotenks, man, I just love this character so much, man. I really wish he could transform into a Super Saiyan 3, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll release a standalone Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks later on down the line with this game, but who knows? Anyways, fellas, that is gonna do it for this one. Have a great day. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra content, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.